Hello and welcome to the College Investor Audio Show. We are so glad you're hanging out with us today as we take a look at a question that we've gotten quite a few times. Can colleges actually withhold your college transcript? If you ever want to dive deeper into any topic we talk about on the podcast and a whole lot more, check us out at thecollegeinvestor.com. You can also get to know us on social media. We're pretty much anywhere you are. Just search for The College Investor and you'll find us. All right, let's get to this thing. Can colleges withhold your transcript? For many students and alumni, a college transcript is a whole lot more than a piece of paper. It's a gateway to all kinds of opportunities, additional education, and even professional development. But what happens when a college withholds your transcript? Is that even legal for them to do that? Okay, well, the answer to that is kind of complicated, yet this is a reality for a whole bunch of people who face unpaid debts to their former colleges. So let's dive into why this happens, the rules governing transcript withholding, and how recent regulatory changes could actually affect you. All right, first off, let's talk about the role of college transcripts in general. So a transcript serves as an official record of your academic achievement. It lists your courses, grades, credits earned, degree or degrees awarded, all that kind of stuff. So for students applying to graduate school, transferring to another institution, or entering the job market, an official transcript is often a must-have. Employers may ask for it during the hiring process, and colleges typically require transcripts for admission decisions. Given its importance, withholding a transcript can have serious repercussions, effectively limiting an individual's access to these opportunities. So why do colleges even withhold transcripts? What's going on here? So transcript withholding is primarily a tactic used by colleges and universities to recover unpaid debts. The practice of withholding transcripts often stems from unpaid debts like tuition balances, library fines, you still owe us a nickel, or unpaid parking tickets. Wow. Colleges argue that withholding transcripts is kind of a way to ensure that students fulfill their financial obligations. A lot of critics, of course, contend that the practice disproportionately harms individuals who are already struggling financially. So for institutions, these debts can represent a significant financial burden. According to a 2022 survey by the National Association of College and University Business Officers, outstanding student account balances have become a growing issue, particularly for small colleges that rely heavily on tuition revenue. By withholding transcripts, institutions believe they have leverage to encourage repayment. I know my school did. Pretty small, though. Like we had 130, I think, in my graduating class. So for students, this practice can create a vicious cycle for real. Without access to their transcripts, they might struggle to secure the very opportunities that would allow them to earn the money needed to pay off their debt. Hello? This is particularly challenging for students looking to transfer to another school or even start a job that requires proof of their educational credentials. So can colleges legally do this? Well, yeah. Colleges can legally withhold transcripts in a whole lot of cases. Federal law, including the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA, gives students the right to access their educational tools. But it doesn't actually require colleges to release official transcripts if the student still owes money. I guess that includes library fines. Wow. But here's the federal landscape on this. There's no federal law explicitly prohibiting colleges from withholding transcripts for unpaid debts. However, under Biden, the U.S. Department of Education announced new rules targeting transcript withholding. These regulations specifically address federal student aid regulations. In 2023, the U.S. Department of Education introduced regulations aimed at limiting transcript withholding, particularly for students with federal loan debt. Keyword there, federal. However, this rule doesn't apply to other types of debt, like tuition or fees. Transparency requirements. Institutions must clearly disclose their transcript withholding policies to students, including the types of debts that can trigger this action. Encouragement for states. While federal regulations don't outright ban the practice, they encourage states to adopt fairer policies. And let's dive into the state landscape. State laws, of course, vary widely on this issue. Surprise, surprise. States like California, Washington have enacted laws limiting the ability of colleges to withhold transcripts, particularly for small debts or low-income students. In 2022, California passed a law prohibiting public and private colleges from withholding transcripts as a debt collection tactic. Other states have more lenient policies, allowing colleges significant discretion. Texas and Florida allow colleges to withhold transcripts for unpaid debts without any restrictions. Other institutional policies. Let's take a look. Individual colleges and universities also establish their own policies. Some may allow students to access unofficial transcripts, even if their official transcripts are withheld. Others might offer payment plans or even partial transcript releases for specific purposes, like getting a job so you can pay your debt, right? So here are the implications for students and alumni. When colleges withhold transcripts, it can have some far-reaching consequences for students. Here are the most common. Of course, we talked about it, but barriers to employment. Can't get a job if you don't have proof of a college degree. Limited educational opportunities. If you're looking to transfer to another place, you might be unable to enroll without your transcripts, which kind of, halts the whole academic progress, rather. And then let's talk about the economic impact. Increased debt burden. Without access to better paying jobs or financial aid opportunities, students might find it even harder to pay off their existing debts. Being unable to access your academic records can lead to financial and emotional stress, particularly for students already navigating challenging life circumstances. If this is happening to you, what action can you take? There are some recent policy changes that mark a significant step forward here, but they're not a perfect solution. If you're a student or alumnus struggling to access your transcript, here's what you can do. Check your institution's policy. Colleges must now provide very clear information about their policies. Review your student account or contact the registrar for absolute specifics. You can negotiate a payment plan. Just reach out to the financial aid office or the bursar's office to discuss your options. Some schools may offer payment plans, debt forgiveness programs, or temporary transcript releases. You can also seek legal advice. If you believe your transcript is being withheld unfairly, or you live in a state with protective laws, consider consulting an attorney or a student advocacy group. And then you can explore alternative solutions. In some cases, employers or even new institutions may accept unofficial transcripts or letters of verification from your college. Be upfront about your situation. Talk about it with them and provide as much documentation as you can. Let's talk about balancing institutional needs and students' rights. Colleges argue that transcript withholding is necessary for debt collection. But the question still remains, though, as to whether this practice does more harm than good. Critics will point out withholding transcripts just pushes students further into financial distress, which makes it harder for them to repay their debts in the long run. There are also issues of equity, access, and creating financial harm because of factors like disproportionate impacts on low-income students. These are students from disadvantaged backgrounds. They're more likely to face financial hardships. As a result, they can experience the long-term consequences of transcript withholding even more so. Long-term financial implications, which we don't like to think long-term in our microwave culture, right? Without access to these transcripts, students might be unable to secure better-paying jobs, which, as you guessed it, perpetuates financial instability. Good luck collecting your debt if I can't get a job to make the money to pay it. It's just, I don't know. But on the other hand, colleges face legitimate financial pressures, particularly as higher education costs continue to go up. So finding a balance that protects both institutional solvency and student success kind of remains a complex challenge. Here's the answer. I'm kidding, I don't have the answer, but here are some final thoughts. Transcript withholding is a very complex issue for sure. Something that cannot be dealt with in one small podcast. It's an issue that touches on financial, legal, and ethical considerations. But one thing is really crystal clear here. Students and alumni need better protections. While recent federal and state-level changes offer hope, a lot of students and alumni still face significant barriers. If you or maybe you know somebody who's dealing with this challenge, just know that you're not alone here. Explore all of your options that we talked about today, seek the support you need, and stay informed about your rights. And for those working in higher education, consider how policies can evolve to better serve students while addressing the financial realities colleges face. If you're in a spot of a leadership position, bring this up where and when you can. Together, we should be able to create a system that works for everyone. We are creative human beings. Let's do this. And that is our show for today. I hope it was helpful to you. You can share this with as many people as you like, and we would be greatly appreciative if you did. Thank you so much for stopping by today. If you have any questions, you want to dive in deeper, please check out thecollegeinvestor.com. You can also follow us on social media, The College Investor, and you'll find us. Thanks again, and we will talk to you again real soon.